meeting to order. Roll call, please.
President Byrne,
Here.
trustees Hebda, Cook,
Here.
Marquardt,
Here.
Schultz,
Present.
Schwartz, Williams.
We have a quorum present. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, is there any citizens who wish to address the board? Okay. Cliff. You're not going to make me cry or anything. Cliff. You don't make me cry or anything?
No.
Okay. You want to state your full name for the record?
Cliff Young, 330 Russet Way, Vernon Hills.
Okay.
President Byrne, village trustees, village staff, and fellow citizens of Vernon Hills. My name is Cliff Young, and as an owner-resident of Plymouth Farm since 1978, it is an honor to have the opportunity to speak to you this evening. I'd like to take a moment to personally thank both Mike Allison and John Kalmar for their polite patience and the many hours of time over the past 10 years in addressing the many encounters I have had with them and the entire village staff. As a village volunteer at the 4th of July Parade, Summer Celebration, Run for the Cops, National Night Out, Rib Fest, Police Expo, Oktoberfest, and Winter Wonderland, and just for the record, I am compensated by Loyola for that event. Our paths cross many times throughout each and every year. It's been a real pleasure to participate in all of these events, all made possible through the intervention of both Mike and John. It is with great pleasure to wish Mike Allison a wonderful and healthy retirement and to offer much success to John Kalmar as you take over the job of village manager. For you and the entire village staff will always have my support and help when requested. Thank you.
Cliff, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cliff. When's lunch tomorrow, 11:30? No. Thank you.
Cliff, did you get an opportunity to re-gift them or anything, or? No? Okay. All right, just thought you. All right, and, oh, well, yeah, come on. You guys might as well come up here. Sure. Obviously, you two aren't candidates for St. Baldrick's.
Well.
I don't know.
I should have dressed up.
Hey, good evening, Mayor Byrne and village trustees. Rick Weingard, Scott Comator, and Barry Lieberman of the Vernon Hill Stingers. And we heard some sad news about 2 months ago that Mike Allison was retiring. And Mike has been a big fan and supporter of us over the years, and we wanted to be here for Mike's last meeting and say goodbye to him. And we have a few things we'd like to bestow upon Mike. Mike, come on, Mike, come over.
You know he's not allowed to leave the dais. You can't leave, Mike. That's right, you're leaving anyways. Yeah, you don't have to listen to me anymore.
Mike, I got a plaque here. We've got our Vernon Hill Stingers logo on it, and it says, "An appreciation to Michael Allison for his dedication and support of the Vernon Hills travel softball program through the years." We really appreciate everything you did for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for making everything very easy.
And you got this hat, the Stingers, with,
Oh,
and
excellent.
always remember though, Mike,
Personalized.
I will.
name in the front, more important than the name in the back.
What does he say? What does it say in the back? Is it like a nickname?
It says Mike
That's
Allison.
kind of my name. Thank you.
And we'd like to give you a Stinger pullover.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Now, Mike, when you wear the hat and this jacket, it does not give you right to go into our dugouts and start bossing people around.
That happens at home, right? I can do that at home.
At home, yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for everything you're doing.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Park District, Okay, you guys
Don't sit down,
identify yourselves for the record, please.
Michael, you can come back.
There you go.
Should I wear the hat?
Good evening, Mayor, Village Board. Jeff Fugero, Executive Director of the Vernon Hills Park District, and with me is David Durhofer, our Board President. We'd like to, on behalf of the Park District and President Durhofer, will have the honors, but I just wanted to take a minute and first congratulate John. I think the Village Board did a terrific job in naming John as your new village manager, and I look forward to working with you, John, and for many years to come. And John and I have a great relationship, and I can't say enough again about the decision of the Village Board. But this gentleman here, Mike Allison, I've only known Mike 5 years, but I know before I took the job, I spent about a half a day with Mike, and one of the things that he and I talked about very candidly was trying to improve the relationship between the Park District and the village. And I think we've done that. And a lot of that, on my behalf, goes to Mike and just his commitment and support of the Park District. In my tenure as a park director, I've worked for and with four village managers and city managers. And Mike, by far, just blows away anybody else that I've worked with. His great sense of humor, his intelligence, and just his commitment to the community is just exceptional. And so I'm going to miss him as a friend. He's been a great mentor for me as the park director, and I just wish him and his wife great success and much happiness and a healthy retirement. Mike, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And Michael, it's, as the park board talked about what we can do to honor you, had we known you were such a fan of softball, the original idea was to put lights up on the fields at Grosse Pointe and call it the Mike Allison Lighting System.
Yeah, because he's moving out of town anyway.
Exactly. So, let's,
Moved out by my neighbor.
unfortunately, that didn't stick, so on behalf of the Vernon Hills Park District, special thanks on behalf of the Vernon Hills Park District staff and board and commissioners to Michael Allison for his support and commitment of the service to the advancements of the park and recreation of Vernon Hills community. This is a pin oak, which will be essentially on Park District property, but in your backyard, just outside your property. So
I'm staying there.
It matches the trees that are in your backyard, and this will bear your name for perpetuity.
Thank you
Michael?
very much. Thank
Thank you
Dave.
for everything. Truly, thank you.
You know what, Dave, he didn't have to die to get the tree.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
You know what I mean? That's kind of a nice touch. You're going to plant it as soon as possible.
He did have to put up with all of us, though, and I guess that's close enough.
Well,
So,
I'm just saying.
thank you all very much.
All right, thanks, guys. Okay, anybody else? Summer celebration, Ena, no? Well, you're there,
You can say something if you wish.
but,
I'm not on Summer Cell anymore.
yeah, whatever,
I
okay.
resigned.
Yeah, right, yeah, okay, till the summer.
No, seriously.
Okay, all right. Well, you're gonna go out of town?
First, go ahead.
You're gonna go out of town?
I might.
Are you
I
gonna
might
go out of
plan a
town
wedding.
during summer
I
celebration?
might have a wedding that day.
Really?
You-
Oh, that's only one day.
Okay.
She's not having the wedding then,
Oh, my
because we
God.
won't be able to make it.
Such drama.
Well, I just want to say that I had the pleasure of working with you for a long time, and not only from Summer Celebration, but other events. And of course, I'm married to Mike, the trustee.
Another night.
Glad you clarified.
Yeah,
that.
I just want to clarify that. But anyway, you were just wonderful, easy to work with, supportive, just great. And I can speak for the whole committee that we just loved you, and well, we still do, but we really, really loved you with everything. You made everything easy. it was kind of hard dealing with Roger sometimes, so you were there to protect us and,
Yeah,
you know.
you know what I love in your house is Oma.
Well, I'm so glad. But anyway,
That's
no,
the way it is,
no, really, you made everything, everybody, the police listened to you, the fire department,
And when was this?
Mark's looking right now.
nothing.
He said,
You gotta put your helmet on.
Yeah. No, but anyway, thank you, and Kathy?
well, I'm just going to say, Mike, that you've always had our back at summer celebration. You've always been supportive to us. You've helped us make decisions that have been difficult. Especially, I've made some decisions that have been difficult, and I'm going to miss you wholeheartedly. I do hope you come back and help us this summer. We'll miss you if you don't.
Yeah.
And John, I look forward to working with you. I know you have a long way to go on with working with us, but we'll make it easy on you.
I'm just going to
Good
warn you,
luck, Mike.
John.
We're going to miss you.
You guys are, excuse me, you guys are great. I mean, it's, I've said it before, it's what a community is the volunteers and the people in the community, and you guys are the best volunteers in my 38-plus years. You're great. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike.
Hey, and Ena, the other Mike, the one you live with, he thinks you're great too. Well, he always tells me that anyway. And you know I love you, Ena. Okay. Any other citizens that wish to address the board? Okay, well, the first item is me, proclamation to Michael S. Allison. What is the middle initial?
Scott.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I finally found that out. It only took me, about 14 years? Okay. In appreciation for his dedicated service to the village of Vernon Hills. You don't know my middle initial's L. What does it stand for?
L. Lawrence.
No.
Logan.
I'm not telling you.
I thought I knew it, though. Lynn, help me out here. Do we know?
Yeah,
No?
it's pretty odd. Okay, Michael S. Allison became the village manager for the village of Vernon Hills in November 1998. So that would be 15 years and a
Plus
month,
years.
2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. During his tenure with Vernon Hills, Mike worked through budgetary issues and financial challenges in 2004 and 2009. During these challenging times, he brought the workforce together and through an early retirement incentive program and attrition, avoided furloughs and layoffs without reducing services or discontinuing projects. Mike was an internal part in the development of Vernon Hills Athletic Complex, a recreational complex that people in the community will enjoy for years to come. Mike worked closely Mike worked closely with all of the village's taxing districts on projects that resulted in the construction of Vernon Hills High School, Aspen Drive Library, Family Aquatic Center, and Lakeview Fitness Center. He was instrumental in construction of a new village hall, expansion of the police department, extension of Fairway Drive, and supporting economic development activities. He also served on many regional organizations and initiatives, including the Lake County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Illinois Municipal League Managers Committee, GLMV Chamber of Commerce, Ad Hoc Sales Group, Nike Reuse Committee, and various charitable organizations. Mike considers the volunteers on the Summer Celebration Committee like family. Ooh, well, that's pretty heavy, Mike. After having
And I
worked...
still like him.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You're right.
After having worked year-round to plan and organize this first-class event held every July. After 15 years of dedicated service to the village of Vernon Hills, Mike will retire January 31st, 2014. You're actually going to work up to that day?
Right till the, I told John, how about 5:01 p.m. You can go ahead and, I don't have to wait till midnight.
All right. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Roger L. Byrne, President of the Village of Vernon Hills Trustees, do hereby express our sincerest appreciation to Mike S. Allison for his years of dedicated service to the residents and employees of the Village of Vernon Hills, and wish him and his wife Madeline well in retirement dated this 21st day of January 2014. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, yeah. Right. All right, here, let me make you look real good.
Okay, one more, just for kicks and giggles. Thank you.
Hang on, don't go.
White Sox.
Perfect.
Jim, isn't this the time when you say the parents can come in the back?
All right, I don't know, does the board want to say anything? Since this is on the record and be on TV? No? Nothing?
I don't want to say anything.
Well, that was-
No, I've been here now almost 9 years, and it's been a pleasure working with Mike. He's the only village manager I've known, but he is a great village manager in my mind, and I look forward to maintaining a friendship with him as the years go forward. So good luck to you in
Thank
all your future endeavors, and stay upright on your bike. Huh?
Thank you, Jim.
A comment from me would
Oh,
be,
okay, trustee Marker.
is that I've, in fact, for all the years too of being with you, your door's always been open. You're kind heart, and I'll miss you, but one of the things is that one, it was a business aspect of things because of the village, but you've become a true friend. So thank you.
Okay. Well,
Well, just that, been here the whole time you've been here. In fact, it was one of the early major hires after I got on the board. And during the interview process, it was real clear that you were the right candidate. And that clarity that just jumped out at us was proven right over the last 15 years with all the great stuff you've done. You've been so easy to work with. One of the things I always like sitting up here and you're dealing with all the stuff that you deal with the village is you have the quality that I like most in teachers, and that is when the students ask a question, there's never a dumb question. And so over all the years when I had some questions that I was thinking, I should really know this, but you never ever, dealt with it like, why didn't he know that? I mean, it was always, okay, let me look into it and see what we can do. And that, from this chair anyway, greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
do you want to say anything, Barbara?
Yeah, I do.
All right, go ahead.
Some of you probably saw me when I came in. I was standing there reading the plaque that's posted in the back of the village boardroom room, listing all of the previous mayors and trustees and village managers. And I realized that I have worked with 3 of the village managers. There was only 4. Larry Lashen was here during the bustle and hustle of the building of the village, as far as the residential boom and the beginning of the industrial boom, if you will. And you saw all of that through. You made sure that it happened. You fulfilled the dream of the board back from way, way back many, many years ago, and you did it with dignity. You did a great job, Mike, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I've only got to work with you these past, about 11 years, I think. But you've done a great job. You've got to retire on a high and know that you accomplished something that was very well wanted and needed for our residents. And you did a great job. Your involvement will surely be missed. And John's got a big shoe to fill. But I think John's capable of it. We've got a good thing going, but you will be missed.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Mike, where did you used to work?
In Bensonville,
And who was
near
the-
the airport.
Who's the mayor?
John Giles.
Giles.
Yeah. His middle initial was C, and I can't tell you what that stands for either. But
So,
anyway,
do you
but
want to thank me publicly now?
I've always thanked you. Thank you and the board for
Hiring him
hiring
from
me.
out of to get them out of Bensonville.
To-
And Lynn, you could thank us too.
Lynn's trying to decide if she wants to thank us.
Yeah. Because I know I could be crazy, I could be a tad aggressive periodically. However, do I even come close to that guy?
No, no. I don't want to say anything. I think the
Well, you're
statute of
retiring,
limitations.
for God's sake.
That's true.
All
That's
right.
true. You know, don't burn any bridges. Mike.
Okay.
No, but,
Yeah, in case,
uh,
no, because, well, I wrote something on your card. I said, you know, you're gonna last 6 months, call Bill Balling, and he'll take you, you know, away from your
Oh, I've
boredom.
already told him he's got a lot of.
You know.
meetings
Who
to go
knows?
to.
You know,
Huh?
I don't know. But
That's how long Magnuson lasted.
yeah.
Lost my dog.
A, you know, public works director type I know kind of well. But okay.
But
So where are you going? You going somewhere?
well, just to Florida for a week or two to see my mother, and then decide what we're going to do. My wife said it's going to be an adventure, like I think I've told most of you, and we'll see what the adventure, where it takes us. But I imagine I got to relax after 38 years, I got to decompress a little bit and,
Yeah.
you know, move
Well,
on.
on a positive note, I've worked with 2 village managers, and I didn't hire, you know, Larry Lashin, but we kept him on, obviously. Yeah, you hired him, and that's fine. And, you know, talk about the difference of day and night. You know, Lashin, you know, looked kind of like at times like somebody dropped a sewer cover on his face.
I kind of did sometimes.
Well,
Like a Joe Palooka, you know. And Larry was a great guy. I mean, I really liked Larry. And you know, it was different times when he was here. We were doing a lot of, you know, crazy,
right.
you know, wheeling and dealing and you know, really developing out everything in town. And then you had to come in and pick up the pieces, you know. And you've done a great job. You know, you and I have been in meetings more than I can remember. You know, and you've always been well prepared. You've always documented those meetings well. In the event we had to remind some developer type, this is what we talked about. So, because they can get amnesia periodically.
Right.
And, you know, so you've done a very, very good job. And, you know, and to be honest with you, you know, you've been here for 15 years, and I think, you know, you brought along, you know, John, for example. You know, and John was a village manager, for those that don't know, in Hawthorne Woods. And John, you know, decided to come here as assistant village manager because there was nothing to really challenge him in his old town.
Do you want
Is
me
that
to,
fair?
Do you want me to thank you right now?
No, that's
So you gotta
okay.
wait a few years.
Oh, no,
man.
you know, hey, you know.
Make them wait a little while.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, you know, again, I mean, and that's, I mean, very, very commendable. And, you know, in all honesty, you know, John has done a great job, and him and Mike have been, you know, a really good tag team. So, and I, you know, one thing I want to say is, I mean, you know, both Mike and John enjoy a great reputation, not just in this village, but outside this village with, you know, other governmental bodies and certainly in the development community where, you know, they understand you guys know what you're talking about and you get it. And that's very, very important, obviously, in this day and age. And certainly, Christ, the last 5 years, I mean, we had to do some real scrambling, you know, to you know, keep the centers vibrant and alive and you know, producing sales tax so that the rest of the centers, you know, the center didn't fail. You know, whether it was the Dicks or the Steinhoffels or Tiger Direct or H.H. Gregg or Mariano's and, you know, and then my God, 10 years with, you know, Westfield. That was
Right,
special,
right.
huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
I should say, and that it bears a compliment to all of you, the board, and I can say this, right? I'm
I
not,
don't care.
I'm not gaining anything
You can
from
say
it,
anything
so
you
this is an honest comment. But I remember the night, and I'm sure John remembers it too, at the Old Village Hall, when one of the Smith brothers came and asked for a rebate. And I think, Mayor, you said it, and at the
Oh,
time,
yeah.
Trustee Cashman, it was like, we don't do that. Thank you, good night. You know, and-
Yeah.
And
Get
I
the free furniture, guys?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
the way you looked at it afterwards, like you said, the economics were there, the Great Recession, you spun around on a dime and you did what you needed to do to keep a vibrant retail community. And so, yeah, there's a philosophy there,
And we
but
actually
you
got
changed it.
Westfield's actually building. That was that's an accomplishment unto itself to Mike and staff, my God. You know,
So Mayor, could we have one more story? I'll prompt you. Larry knows. It's LaGuardia Airport.
Oh, my
It's 1999. It's January. That was, 15 years ago. I'm not going to tell a story.
You can tell it.
No, go ahead. You tell it.
Wait, where we had the ice storm?
Yeah.
And we had
we
a,
spent the night, we spent more than the nights we thought in New York.
Yeah, we went
going to
back-
Moody's.
well, yeah, but we went back to the Ramada Inn, right?
Right. Well, we first started out in Manhattan, then we went a little further north on Manhattan, and I figured out the wisdom of our finance director. He and his lovely wife decided they're going to spend the weekend in New York because, as you know, Larry's from New York.
That's right.
He walked one way in the ice storm. You and I walked to the airport in the ice storm.
Right. Yeah.
He enjoyed the weekend. We enjoyed the airport for 2 days.
Yeah.
Or a day and a half.
Yeah,
whatever it
well,
was.
you know, and we were with our tour guide, Kevin McKenna.
Right, our
you know,
financial
who's
consultant.
who tells our story to the bond agencies. But yeah, that was kind of special. I'll never forget. You know, it was kind of romantic, Mike. We were up in that building,
yeah, right. Wait a
and,
minute.
and it was the restaurant rotated, and we had an adult beverage.
That's right.
So.
Overlooking
And
Times
but
Square.
and to end this story, then we wind up taking a cab to Newark to
Yeah,
to
we
get out.
finally had to go from LaGuardia to Newark
Yeah.
and fly out of Newark, finally, like the second day in the afternoon or something, and we were at the back of the plane. We got
Oh,
the
yeah.
last 2 seats.
Yeah, it was special.
So that was interesting. That was a nice bonding experience.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really got to know you.
It was good.
But
Okay.
I'd just like to thank
Okay.
everybody, the staff, John, congratulations. I wholeheartedly echo what Jeff said. It's great for the community that John's going to be the village manager going forward. And working with the chief and what he's done with the police department, it's been a pleasure, Mark. Dave in Public Works and Larry, of course, in finance. You're the rock, and getting us through one little bump and one huge bump over the last 10 years.
Right.
And I'm sure before that. Thanks, Larry. Thanks to everyone. And Mike, thank you for the projects you've led. And I must say, you mentioned Lynn, and Lynn, I know I'm a embarrass her and annoy her, but she is just wonderful. What can I say? Working with her for over 20 years in 2 different places. She's great, and I know all of you love to work with her, and she's
Yes.
great.
And she's a
Thanks-
White Sox fan. That's the
and
important.
that's most important. So thanks to the residents and the staff and to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. All right, this is Bob Kenny. Is this legal you're going to talk about, or?
No. This is still, that's just a personal opinion, but I did want to say, I have done a lot of land use in my career in municipal law as well, and I've run up against quite a few managers, and I have truly enjoyed working with Mike. Everybody has pretty much captured that, but, and I think you can, to everybody's credit, you can drive around town and see how all the things that have been accomplished during his tenure. But I think what strikes me the most is not so much what he's accomplished and what you've accomplished together, but how he accomplishes it, who he is, how he is with people, and not too many people can accomplish things in that way and be so personable and so much fun to work with and still get things done. So to me, that's your legacy, and how easy it is to work with you and accomplish things with you. So
Thanks,
thank
Bob.
you.
Nice, Bob.
Okay, thank you. All right. Do I have to swear you in now? No.
No, not
Okay, well, so what are we looking for, a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the appointment of John Kalmar as, village clerk? What is this?
Yeah, he's got to be part
He's got
Okay, I already did, okay. Appoint John Kalmar as village clerk effective 2/1/14.
So made.
Second.
Thirded.
Second,
second, third, fifth, whatever.
all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next is, nobody else has any speaking parts, right? Okay. Omnibus vote agenda, is there a motion to approve items A through H?
H, I think, yep.
You want to pull G?
No, but I'd like to have discussion on D,
Okay.
just because of the latest information we got
Oh,
in today's
Oh,
transmittal.
yeah. Oh, brother.
Well, you got to pull it.
Well, pull it.
Okay, D's pulled, so is there a motion to approve items A through C, E through H?
H.
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. You got any comments you want to make about D?
Well, no, that's going to be
Well,
separate.
Yeah.
No,
All right,
it's
fine.
separate.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz, Williams,
Aye.
Hebda, Cook,
Aye.
Markwart.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, D, approval and passage of resolution 2014-005, resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipalities under the Illinois Highway Code. Motion to approve and a second.
At this
Trustee
juncture,
Schultz?
yeah, at this juncture, I'd like village engineer / Public Works Director Brown to kind of update us and kind of ensure that we all still have the desire to go forward with the sidewalk, because this is going to use more funds than what will be available from MFT. So we'll have to use some general ledger funds and/or reserves based on what we're seeing.
Which sidewalk are you
So within the Corporate Woods subdivision, there was discussions at the previous board meeting about whether or not to add a sidewalk component to Corporate Woods. What the resolution in front of you does, it doesn't require us to spend the money. It will allow us to go to 1.3 million should the board decide to add a sidewalk within Corporate Woods. I have provided some estimates. I don't have them in front of me, but roughly if it was an actual carriage walk, it's around $585,000 to do that. If we were to stripe the roadway and add at the highway intersections concrete due to the narrowness at those locations, it'd be a little bit over $100,000, maybe $103,000. So the resolution in front of you would authorize IDOT to allow us to spend up to that money. Whether or not we would expend all the funds or not, the 1.3 million rather than the 1.2 million that we talked about before.
What's the width of the sidewalk?
The width of the sidewalk would be 6 foot. It would be a carriage walk. It would be one side of the roadway.
And this is all our easement, we don't have to negotiate anything with anybody?
True.
You know what, my only is it gonna be in both of the parks, the subdivisions of the park?
Yes.
So it'd be one sidewalk, a sidewalk on one side of the street in both sections?
True, along all roadways within there. So that would be the concrete solution. The other is whether or not we stripe the wider roadway for more of a bike path, shared use.
I would want to have a sit-down with, Bob, you might get somewhere with Chuck, because they're not going to contribute a penny.
I understand.
Huh. Okay. Trustee Cook?
Well, this is strictly a budgetary housekeeping resolution, not an actual expenditure.
True.
Okay.
We do have the plans into IDOT. They are reviewing them. We're hoping to go out to bid soon, and the reason being is if we get ours in sooner than others, we tend to get better asphalt
Okay.
prices.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Is there any further comments or questions on that one? All right, is there a motion to approve? Well, we did, okay, second? Roll call.
Trustees Schwartz, Williams,
Aye.
Hebda, Cook,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All right. Unfinished business, we have approval of Kemper voucher list of bills dated January 21st, 2014, in the amount of $5,303.35.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments or questions? If none, roll call.
Trustees Williams,
Aye.
Hebda, Cook,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz.
And for the record, I'd vote aye. Motion carries. Okay. B, approval of the January 8th, 2014 Village Board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, the roll call.
Trustees Hebda, Cook,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz, Williams.
Motion carries. C, approval and passage of resolution 2014-002, a resolution authorizing amending the current Village of Vernon Hills personnel rules.
This resolution basically puts in our personnel rules some current practices as far as what we do with the commanders, how how we treat their comp time and their roll call time and how that's accrued. It brings the treatment of community service officers on holidays in parity with how the members of the collective bargaining unit are being treated. It puts commanders, it puts their holiday benefit on parity with how the police officers and sergeants are being treated. It puts floating holidays for non-bargaining unit members in parity with how the police officers and sergeants are being treated. It also brings us in basically in compliance with the recommendations of the Illinois Department of Insurance as far as dependents' enrollment in health insurance, as far as the post-retirement insurance benefit. And finally, it adds our concealed carry policy in compliance with the law that became effective on January 1st. Any questions on these issues?
I have a question on the very last one. What is our concealed carry policy?
You're doing that just to make me talk tonight, aren't you? It brings into compliance, as Larry said, with the state statute that you are not permitted to bring firearms into the police department buildings or government buildings.
But you can leave them in the trunk of your car.
In the trunk of your car in the parking lot.
Now, this is kind of an off-the-wall question. What is considered the trunk of a car if you own a van?
In the back.
I would say it's I'm not sure if there's a definition for that, but I would say that it has to be in a compartment in the very rear of the car that's not accessible from the driver's seat.
Yeah, to follow up a little bit further on that, it does talk about must be concealed, locked in the vehicle, or locked within the vehicle in a case, such as a glove compartment or a trunk. So it expands that, but also gives you some clarity on terms of where that weapon must be placed.
Maybe that's why Dodge put 2 glove compartments in a minivan.
I'm sure that's why. Is there any, rule or regulation that you gotta have an actual gun lock on the gun?
No, that is not addressed by the statute whatsoever.
Yeah, okay.
We have that as an ordinance, but that's unenforceable. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Right.
And employees are strongly encouraged to keep their firearms locked.
Okay. All right. So what, you got a motion and a second?
No.
Got a motion.
So made.
We got a second?
Second.
Motion and a second? Roll call, please.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz, Williams,
Aye.
Hebda.
Motion carries. Okay, approval and passage of ordinance 2014-007, an ordinance amending the Village of Vernon Hills Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Officers, Division 2, related to the position of village manager.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the amendment to the code and that basically cleans up the section related to village manager. Currently, the code identifies the position as village manager / director of public safety. And it was a two-pronged position that had two separate duties. There were also provisions in the code, or currently provisions in the code, that are more contractual in nature that have been taken out and the like. The amendments which are attached to your packet reflect both current practices here and also practices that occur within the profession itself. It's more of a cleanup than anything else with regards to the ordinance. It doesn't affect the appointment authorities or any of the duties and responsibilities. It actually does provide some clarification on one item regarding the care and custody of real estate and equipment and the like. So I guess with that, I can answer any questions that anybody may have.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion is second. Any further comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz, Williams,
Aye.
Hebda, Cook.
Aye.
And I'd vote aye for the record. Motion carries. B, approval and passage of ordinance 2014-008, an ordinance amending the Village of Vernon Hills Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 4, departments related to the creations, the Community Development Department.
Again, this is an amendment to the code that does two things. First of all, under Section 2-266, department heads, it changes the language in the code to reflect the current title for the village engineer / director of public works. It also includes the creation of the department head for the community development department being the assistant village manager, director of community development. And then it adds a new Division 3 that in fact establishes the community development department. Again, it reflects current practices today, being that the department consists of administration, GIS, building, including records, licensing, and other divisions, as you may authorize, you meaning the president and the board may authorize going forward. It also establishes the building commissioner both as the supervisor of the building division and also as the zoning administrator. And then it also then establishes the assistant village manager, director of community, as the director of community development in a joint titled position. So from there, within the proposed amendment, the sections A through, I believe it's H, A through K, establishes the duties and responsibilities of those. Again, it all relates to current practices, community development, planning, building, code enforcement, licensing, both in terms of business licensings and liquor licenses, the review of plans and specs, and serving as liaison to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then also the administration and enforcement of regulations regarding alcoholic liquor control under Article 3, Article 10 being the licenses, permits, and miscellaneous business regulations, and in Article 13, which is nuisances. So with that, I can answer any further questions regarding this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. If no further comments or questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Schultz?
Aye.
Schwartz? Williams?
Aye.
Hebda? Cook?
Aye.
Markwart?
Aye.
And for the record, I'd vote aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Any new business or communication in addition to what we just discussed? No? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go into committee of the whole?
So made.
Second?
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Schwartz? Williams?
Aye.
Hebda? Cook?
Aye.
Markwart?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to call committee of the whole meeting to order. First item of business is approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of January 8th, 2014. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, deletions, corrections? If none, roll call.
Trustees Hebda? Cook?
Aye.
Markwart?
Aye.
Schultz?
Aye.
Schwartz? Williams?
Aye.
Motion carries. First item, summer celebration smoking policy.
Well, I guess I can start it. At the last Summer Celebration Committee meeting, we discussed the Park District's recent policy to prohibit smoking, basically in parks as well as 15 feet outside of parks. And as you know, Summer Celebration's held at Century Park, and we had a discussion, well, what does the committee want to do? And I suggested whatever, their thoughts, they would come to you, and you would make whatever, formal requests you wanted to make to the Park District. So the thought is, and Kathy Zarillo is our co-chair, please, Kathy, join in to this discussion. But basically, it's that they wanted to designate a small area on the grounds for smoking, and it would be, if you're familiar, immediately north of the beer tent, the actual bar area. Go ahead.
Correct.
Okay.
That's all I'm here for.
Yeah.
We,
Sure.
we just feel like,
Need to get a little closer to the mic,
okay,
Kat.
I'm sorry.
Bring it
Pull
to
it
your
down.
face.
All right. I'm not a non-smoker, so this really doesn't affect me at all, but there are a lot of people who come to Summer Celebration to support our event who do smoke. And I understand people don't like it, but it is outside, and we feel like we need to make some accommodation to our supporters for smoking. And we like to designate a section north of the beer tent, just confined for people to be able to have a drink and a cigarette at the event, if they so desire.
Excuse me.
That would be a space between the beer tent and then the fest grounds, right?
Correct.
The,
Between the beer tent and then where the carnival is.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's,
Trustee Cook?
Is the procedure on this then that we ask the Park District for permission to?
I would believe so.
Well, yeah, I would think you'd have to ask them for an exemption
Right.
to their rule, and I'm not sure,
If Jeff wants
Bob,
to
we
comment.
could talk how their ordinance is actually set
Well,
up.
then, what do you need a motion from us, or just consensus from us to go forward with whatever procedures you need to do to work it out with the Park District?
And Jeff
Get-
may be
bef-
able to answer.
before we enter a motion, I guess I'd like to hear from
I-
the Park District representative, if he's prepared to make a comment.
He can make it, yeah, I would like
If he's
to-
not, that's fine too.
Just before President Doerhofer left, we knew this was a committee of the whole item, and his comment to me was, it was a consensus of the park board to have no smoking allowed on any park property. That was the ordinance that was approved last month. I would suspect that that would probably stand. Now, I can't speak for the entire board. If the village board is interested in presenting the park board with this request and an exemption on behalf of the summer celebration, that's something the park board would have to address. But I can tell you this, was a process that took several months, and that was the consensus of the park board. We know that with the Rib Fest, we will not allow it. We are also with the July 4th celebration, we're going to encourage no smoking at that. My personal opinion is I think we'd be hypocritical if we allowed it for summer celebration. That's just my personal opinion. So if that answers any, I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
That's what I want your
I'd still like us to go forward with asking, just because I respectfully disagree with you, because summer celebration is a more of a unique type of festival in that, in the way it's put on, and I'd at least like to explore seeing if we can do it, at least in a small area. And I also come from the same point of view as you. I've never been a smoker, but I still respect the rights of people who do. And I just think it would make it too cumbersome to make them go, and maybe even a safety hazard to go 15 feet off, because that's what they mean. What would happen is they would have to be crossing, Lakeview at that point in order to go over to some area to smoke. And believe me, people will go outside to be 15, on a morning like this morning or an evening like this evening. People will go 15 feet outside the door when it's 5 below. So, they're going to, if they have to, across Lakeview. And I just see that as being an unnecessary burden in terms of the festival, because it's really never been a problem. And also, I was one of the early supporters of, we were, as a village, about a year and a half ahead of the state of Illinois in banning smoking in public buildings here. So, and I supported that wholeheartedly. But I would like to see if we can get you guys to carve out a little exemption here.
Trustee Williams.
My question was for the committee. How did you decide on the area?
Close to the beer tent?
I'm sorry?
Close to the beer tent?
Close to the beer tent. So would you kind of restrict it more closer to the lake? I'll tell you where I'm afraid the opposition might come from.
Okay.
That it is at the rides, which are child-oriented.
Oh, it wouldn't even be that cllose to the rides
So
with
not
the way
that
it's
close.
set up. I don't know if you,
It's behind the beer.
Oh, I know.
you know where the bingo
Beer tent
is? Where the bingo is, it would be to the, if you're in the pavilion where we do the bingo, it'd be closer to the lake and to the left, right behind where the beer trailers are. I think last year the fire
Behind the beer
department
trailer.
was there.
I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And it would just be, fenced off or something?
Yep. Wouldn't be large, just be a place for someone who, wants to have a cigarette, has a beer in their hand, doesn't want to dump it they can't leave with it, and you don't want to leave a beer sitting down, just anywhere to go have a cigarette and then come back.
Right, okay. All right.
Well, I'm no longer a smoker. I'm a past smoker.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I probably smoked more than anybody else in this room when I was a smoker. But I don't think it's going to deter anybody if they're not allowed to smoke on the property. I really don't. If they do, I'm really concerned about their health, but that's okay. But I certainly can understand the Park District's position. I don't have a problem with the board wanting to ask for that permission, but I can understand the Park District's position in denying it. If they're not allowing it for their own events, why would they allow it for anybody else? So while, I don't have a problem with asking for it for the public, I don't think we're going to get it. So I just
You
want
can
you
only hope.
don't be disappointed. I would be surprised.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
But the answer to any question that doesn't get asked is no.
Okay, so we're going to bring this back.
You are right in that respect, but at the same
We're safe to
time,
say that, we're going to bring it back.
but at the same
Unless-
time, would we do
unless,
that? No.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, from my perspective, I guess I'll vote yes to request that with the direction that I truly hope the Park District votes no.
Yeah, okay. Well, and then, Chief, what do you think? Since you're the, the enforcer of the ordinance.
Boy, I'll tell you, I've tried to stay out of this one.
Yeah,
I said
yeah.
3 years ago when we had this discussion, we don't want to become the smoking police.
Right.
But if they were to allow this, or even if they don't allow it, we're still going to have people that are going to light up. And I think the word that we're using, 2 words actually, is courteous compliance. I don't think it's in our best interest, nor do we want to go in and arrest people or ticket people for smoking. We're just going to ask them to comply.
But in that respect, I absolutely agree with you, but I hope if the cigarettes are on the grounds, we will be issuing tickets. That is a new law. And I've threatened my personnel at work with authorizing the police to come in and issue those tickets. There's nothing worse than a cigarette bust laying on the ground.
Oh, I agree. Oh, I see what
It's
you mean. I'm
horrible.
sorry. I agree.
There's no excuse for that.
I've seen them pull up in front of the building,
Empty their
open up their
ashtrays.
car door and empty their ashtray
Yep.
in the parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that.
Okay, well, obviously, we're gonna have a discussion on this in the future.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sure.
do you want to direct us, since we're transitioning here, to send a letter to the Park District making a formal request? Going back to Trustee Cook's comments, do you want to do
Yeah,
a
it's okay with-
motion?
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Direct us to send a letter formally to the Park District requesting a small area within Century Park during the event to have,
Right.
allow smoke.
Smoke off the grounds.
Okay, is there a motion to that extent?
So made.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
I hesitate too. Aye.
Schwartz, Williams,
In support of our committee, aye.
And for the record, I vote aye. Well, the motion carries within reason.
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn committee of the whole?
So
moved.
made. Second.
Motion is second, roll call, please.
Trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Schultz,
Aye.
Schwartz, Williams,
Aye.
Hebda, Cook.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you, and good night.
Well, Mike, you almost got it.